Adam, of course, he hasn't come before. Clay this time. Clayton, Anschutz, Caitlin, Caitlin Ba. This is the Thursday. I have attendance pretty low on Thursdays. Clay's here. Coleman, Rachel, uh, Duffield, Elijah, Jackson, I saw him. Eileen here. Ty, Kelly, David Kelly, Maynard, McCune. So these people insist that they don't want to get an A. You know, attendance is 10% of the grade. Reese, Mary, here. Mendez, here. Andrea, Solomon, here. Nash, Atticus, Sydney, Skaggs, Luke Thomas, Tucci, Curry, here. Red, and West. And Beatrice. All right. Let me just make sure. Of course, David Kelly. I don't know why I get it at 9:28. I'm stuck at work. I'm going to put that on syllabus. That is not an excuse. But stipulations that are the conditions that are not stipulated in a contract is always interpreted in the favor of the person who didn't write the contract. That's the law, and it should be. I mean, you should have known it's not part of contract theory. All right. Now, today we're going to start with CAPAM, some fun stuff. Uh, the idea behind this exercise is to kind of look at the rewards and risks of owning different assets, different portfolios, and to kind of figure out what kind of portfolios are desirable, what kind of portfolios are not. For example, if I told you two portfolios, one of them is expected to make 10%, the second one 12. The first one has a risk of, however you measure it, 5. The second one has a risk of 3. Okay, there is no argument that you should not hold the first one because there is a better one that dominates it. It gets higher rewards and less risk. Those kinds of portfolios are called inefficient. Okay, and rational investors will only hold efficient portfolios. Because if you hold an inefficient portfolio, that means you are effectively leaving money on the table on a risk-adjusted basis. Obviously, these are all based on expected returns and risks, but realizations could be different. But at least before seeing the results, you're taking too much risk for the reward that you expect. So rational investors would not take those kinds of risks. Do we have people who do that? Yes. And we have people who put their money onto a single stock. But a lot of the time they're just gambling. Okay. I mean, I do that myself. In my Roth IRA, half of the money is in options of NVIDIA, but I know I'm gambling, but I also am on top of it daily. But knowing that I'm gambling is good enough for me. I have other things as well. Some people make rather lottery plays. Those kinds of things have a place in the portfolio, but you don't put too much. For example, I have this stock. Yeah, it's called Syngin, okay? And I bought this at an average of 20.4 cents. It's so-called a penny stock. This stock, either I'm going to lose all the money I put in it, or it's going to be 50x within 5 years. Okay. They develop software for self-driving commercial vehicles. Suppose you have a forklift and you're in a your Walmart, and you have this huge storage space where you're gonna put things in place. Instead of hiring people, you have these self-driving forklifts. They actually go there, lift the thing up, put it wherever they want to go. They develop software for those, and they actually started using NVIDIA's AI chips for those machines. I believe they're gonna do well, but you know they're also kind of somewhat short on cash. So if they survive next year, this thing is gonna do really well. But even with that, I sold calls on $2.50, which is more than 12 times the price now. And somebody was actually willing to pay me 5 cents a share for the July one. Okay. Remember, I bought this thing around 20 cents. And this is for 2.50. I mean, if this was for $1, 5 cents, I would have understood. Somebody actually bought that option from me. They put 5 cents in it. That means they're thinking that this thing, if it really skyrockets, they're gonna make a lot of money. Remember, options are uh, built-in leverage instruments. For example, my NVIDIA options that I hold, they have a implied leverage of about 4. So even though I have only 2 contracts, which is over 200 shares, okay, and its current price is about 15,000, current value, or 14. Leverage of 4 means it earns the same return, at least for small price movements, for a position that is worth 64,000. I don't have $64,000 to be able to bet on that. And you can't even borrow money in the retirement accounts. There's no margin in retirement accounts. It's not allowed. So what am I going to do? I mean, I really believe in that stock, so I want exposure on that, and I get it through options. And somebody also paid me average about 6 cents on the October 18th calls. First, I did those, then I realized, let me try my chance on the July calls. If they give me 5 cents, hey, why not? I'll resell them in July for October again. So my net cost is actually about 15 cents or so. And it's either I'm going to lose all of it. I mean, I got 6,500 shares, which is going to be, less than $1,000 investment. Either I'm going to lose it all, or I'm going to make probably over 40 grand on that investment. It's a lottery play. But I don't ever put more than 1% of my wealth into lottery plays. I mean, I don't have that kind of 100,000 here, but I have other retirement investments, my 401k and stuff. So including that, that's not over 1%. That's my kind of rule. Don't ever put more than 1% of your money into a 0-1 play. You're going to either lose it all or you're going to make a lot of money. And I have a simple test. I ask the following question. If I lose all that money, is that going to make me cry? I mean, it may make you cry, but I've been working for quite a bit. It's not going to make me cry. So I'm going to take that risk. You're asking, why aren't you playing the lottery itself? Do you know the odds of winning the jackpot? It's in 1 in a billion, right? Me winning in this one is probably 1 in 10. Because, I looked at the company, I see good things about it, and it is not pure chance. But just like any company, even if you have a good business model, you have to execute that well. All right. So let's get some data using some historical returns.